Good day, everybody. Hey, folks, this is Everyman's 40K channel, and I am Everyman, your host. So we're going to open this baby up. This will be part 3 of our Forge World Kannonwagon build. This is our scratch built and I guess kit bashing of a World War II tank destroyer called a Jagdpanther II. So we've already done considerable work. So please go watch part 1 and part 2 to get you up to speed on what we've done. As I stated, this will be part 3, and we're going to actually start working on this side. In front of you here, I have a lot of stuff that I've kind of already put together to help speed this up a little bit. We have our barrel. So as you noticed, this is my standard way I build barrels. If you can, go check out my barrel build video. I have a smaller one here. This is kind of just like a little tank. I went ahead and I built that. This I pre-assembled. So this is from a burner boy. And I basically reconfigured this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to drill a hole in one of these barrels. So let me go ahead, get the trusty drill bit. As we've talked about, for me it's just my standard process. I always drill a pilot hole. So we got to find the correct area to drill. So this will be attaching like this. So we want to drill the bottom right here. And I've already marked it. There we go. Now we have to drill it a little bigger because we have to get a tube inside there. One of these plastic tubes, and I'll show you why in just a second. Let me come in here. We'll finish drilling this bad boy. Okay, we still got to go a little bit more. There we go, easy money. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these size tubes and we're going to just glue it right inside there, just like that, with super glue. And then we're going to go over the top of that with a little bit bigger tube. So that way it's kind of a step. So it looks like a tube in a tube. And I'll show you once I get it all assembled what it'll look like. Let me go get something off the table in the other room and I'll come right back. All right, let's go ahead. Let's glue this bad boy in. Actually, I'm going to get this one solid. So we're going to use a solid one. I don't necessarily need a hollow tube for this because this is fake. I'm just cleaning this up. See, it looks pretty good, pretty centered. Straight up and down. So we're going to add a little thin just to lock it in. There. Then we're going to cut some of this off. Make a little ring. Try to slide it over this bad boy. And go all the way down. And then put some glue around it to lock it in. A little bit of thick or medium. So that way it looks like it's welded. I'm just kind of working the glue around. So that looks like it's a welded fitting now. Kick it off. And then do a little bit more prep work and I'll come back. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing to this. We're just going to drill a hole. This one I don't need a pilot. I'm just going to go ahead and find the best location right in the center. We're just going to eyeball. And then we're just going to reverse what we did with the copper fitting. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with the ring. So let me cut another ring. There you go. That's our barrel into a barrel. We just add a little glue. And all I'm doing is working that super glue around that seam. There, so it looks like it's a weld. And then we'll kick that off and then it's done. So that is the sub-assembly right there. So now we got a little bit more work to do. We're going to put this right here. Just like that. It's going to look really good. Okay, let me put a couple things together and I'll come back. Okay, so moving this along, what I've done is I've made two what we would call hangers or hanging brackets. And basically all that is it's just straight, let me see, let me grab a piece. It's just straight poster board like this. And then you just use the shape of the barrel, bend it into the shape, and then set it with glue. And I use thin glue. So you use thin, it soaks into the paper or into the poster board. Then you just zap kick it real quick and then lock it into that shape and they become hangers, like barrel hangers. So I got one here and then a little bit thicker one there, just different. Short barrel hanger, long one. But again, like we've said, this is Ork's. So then you come in here, put on your barrel hanger, and you just determine kind of, okay, where do I want it? So we roughly want it to go right there. So there, you just eyeball it, take the super glue, and lock in the first hanger. Just like that. So then, there, see, you got your barrel hangers. And then once you glue this all together as an assembly, like for example, right here, I'm going to cut that. So I'm going to take off about 1/8 of an inch or so, somewhere right there. I'll even go ahead and mark it. So that way it's very similar to that one. So we'll cut that one back to about right there. But there you go. Check that out. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cap this one. We're going to top it. So this is just a paper straw. I cut right there. I just cut off of that. I know where the center of my barrel is because I marked it. We're just going to drop that right there. We're going to put in some glue. I'm just centering it up a little bit better. That's perfect, right where I want it. Kick that off. pushing on it. What I'm doing right now is I'm taking my 2 fingers and I'm pushing down hard on that straw to make it seat on that copper tube. So right there, you can see I forced out from the center. I forced that glue out by pressing down hard, and it makes it look like that's a weld. Okay, so there. Then we come in here and we just find any poster board, any type of thick cardboard. And we just cut this into a semicircle looking form. Clean up a little bit, and this is our cap. So again, just come in here with some glue and glue it. Nothing special. So just like that. So we got barrel going into a barrel, then that's the filler cap. So next is positioning this piece. So let me just take and look at the fitment. So you can see there. Okay, so we're going to cut this real quick. Nothing fancy again. Boom. And then I think I'm going to glue it down. I'm going to lock it in. So we're going to take, again, some medium glue. Pretty strong bead. Pretty, not super thick, but pretty strong. Come in here. Okay. She's on. Now what we can do is later throw some chains. So we're going to take maybe some chains, bolt a chain up top here, maybe put a chain up there and go crossways and do some chain, put something underneath here to secure that underneath there, very similar to what we did here, right? Just to make it so it makes sense and it's strong enough to hold the, 55 gallons of fuel. So now what we're going to do is, I've noticed this little thing right here. I have no idea what that is for the model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use that as a fuel inlet. So once we take our hose here, we're going to drop it here. I'm either going to drop it this way or I'm going to drop it this way. But bottom line is I'm going to have a hose coming from here into this and then coming out of this and into there. So I'm going to have a bunch of hoses coming out, or not a bunch, one fuel hose. So let me go ahead and do this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put an outlet on here. I think that's better, having that kind of hanging down below the frame line, because you got to remember, here we're going to put the standoffs, and then this is going to be a skirt. So they're going to have side skirts with these standoffs like on this side. So having that actually a little bit below, kind of cool, because it breaks up that line across there. So anytime you can break up a line on a model, it's good. You don't want real clean lines. It's just, I don't know, just my thing. So we come in here, we're going to cut this hose. So we're going to eyeball it. We're going to cut this a little long because we don't want it straight. We want a little bit of a bend. Just looks cooler. So I want that bend down. So it's a little bit much. So we're going to take that out. We're just going to cut it back a little. Take off about 1/8 of an inch, and then we're going to glue in one end first. So we'll glue that in first. All right, so almost finished. So as you can see, I went ahead, moved this forward a little bit. We went ahead and attached the hose here, plugged it in, have that little loop, just because, you know, again, artistic stuff. We went ahead, plugged this in, came up, glued it into the hole there where we just drilled. So we went ahead, finished our piping. As you can tell, I got now a chunk of corrugated steel here, got a piece of steel here. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put the standoffs underneath here, and then I'm going to go ahead and mount this. So I found this radiator off of my, I guess, my truck kit. Went ahead, did a little bit of work just with poster board. Got a couple rivets, made it flat. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to cut these off, these two little, what do you call it, hinge points, because we do not want it to hinge. So we're just going to snip those off, and we're going to use this as a radiator in a location right here. So let me file and sand this a little bit smooth. There we go. Then once we get it mounted, we're just going to glue it. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do small square rivets, and it'll turn it instantly into a nice little Ork radiator right there. So nothing left but to glue it. So come in here with a little bit of medium. A little bit heavy again, because once we stick it, I don't want it to come off. And we're just going to break up that area right here. Just positioning it. I want it just right. Right there, just like that. That's it. Kick this off, clean it up a little bit, kick it off with some Zap Kicker. And there you go. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put some standoffs, just like we did on this side, in preparation for our side skirts. But if you look at that, I think that side's done, folks, other than a little bit of rivets here. Just a little bit more artistic work in the side skirt standoffs. So this is video 3. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I'm already at the, I believe, 25-minute mark even on this one. We went ahead, we completed first side, second side. The front is almost complete. I got a couple of minutes left on the front. All we have to do is mount the barrel at some point. But next, we're going to go ahead in video number 4. In part 4, we're going to go ahead and put that big door on. Put some metal plates in the back here. Maybe some more, tin roofing kind of style. We're going to go ahead. We're going to work on the top here. I got some cool things we're going to do here. We are then in number 4. We're going to glue this barrel on. And most likely, we're going to finish the front, prime, put the side skirts on, and go ahead and track it. So in video number 4, I think we're going to be able to wrap this baby up. So if you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, smash that notification bell for part 4, because part 4 is coming out in a couple days, maybe a week. We're really close. I want to get this wrapped up. But like we always say on the channel, may all your dice rolls come up 6s unless you're looking for a 1, fellas. Peace out.